Metal Slug.
Ahem. Next. Old world and AoS models need to be game compatible. Mostly the same player base for both games, and splitting the community in twain may doom both. It won't doom, I don't think it'll doom both. I just think it's kind of maybe a bad idea. Yeah, the square base, circle base thing. I don't know why you'd do that. I guess it's important for rank and flank, so I guess that is why. But yeah. It will probably hurt the old world more than it will hurt AoS. But I don't know, figure it out. That sounds like somebody else's problem and not mine. Bethesda writing. Bethesda writing used to be good. Old man yells at cloud. Morrowind was great. Ahem. We should have indexes at the start of a edition. Let me help you out here. There we go. We should have indexes at the start of an edition. If they're good. Yeah. Here's the thing though, the indexes would have to be good. And ideally they wouldn't be instantly rendered obsolete. So providing those two, you have the coldest take in the universe. Great job. Didn't most of the talent actually responsible for Morrowind leave Bethesda like half a decade ago? Yes, including the writer, whose work was not used on Oblivion basically at all. And that was the start of... But it's the same thing with all the other good game companies that you remember being famous for having good writing and stuff like that. BioWare has essentially 0 people responsible for their old good games, right? Blizzard has nobody, right? It's just, this happens. Over time, you'll lose people. Either by pushing them out, or firing them, or they push themselves out because they don't want to get sued for sexual harassment. All sorts of reasons. And eventually, you have a company that is the name, and that's it. And they can't make a good game to save their fucking life. Happens all the time, it's nature. It's the circle of life. Beautiful in a certain way. The Great Horned Rat is the only true god of chaos. The rest are just evil order. Sure. I'm not trying to fight you too hard on it. Pretty orderly when you think about it. All that organization. I mean, it is a very hot take if you happen to do any more than oversimplify, I think. So, good work. 5 out of 7. Good try. Marathi's rule where she only takes 3 wounds per round should have never made it out of testing, much less still be in effect years later. Yeah, I basically agree. It's a very toxic rule. Probably should have never existed. But it's at its weakest now. So, I don't know. She's also really expensive. Keeps going up. Basically agree. But, I don't know. Some of this shit that has no business existing in a game like this was part of the reason why shit was so unbalanced and scuffed in the earlier versions of the game, but also why they were so fun. Because a lot of people had shit that shouldn't exist. So anyway, yeah, I mean, you're probably right. Her rule simply can't die, you know? Like impossible to defeat, you just have to wait. Yeah, a rule like that probably shouldn't have existed. But scuffed, unbalanced bullshit like that is what was kind of cool about the game in second and first and stuff. First edition, early second were more fun than third has been. A filthy casual gamer. Yes. Makes sense. It's a certain type of personality. If you're the Johnny combo player kind of brain, you're going to like late first, early second more than now. If you're the Spike, I have to play perfectly at all times, even if it's kind of boring, I care about balance, stuff like that, you're gonna like third edition more. So yeah, this is reasonable. I figured we would eventually start hearing stuff like this. It's a very different type of game now than it used to be. It used to be a little more wild, a little more Wild West, a little more combos everywhere. A little more people doing shit with the rules they clearly didn't intend all the time. And now we got these guardrails in place. Only this, game-wide, can't do this. Maximum +1 net, maximum -1 net. Can't proc 2 things on 6s, can't use the same command ability more than once in the same phase. Can't use 6 of them in a row if you save up your points for the cool interaction thing. Terrain doesn't give you bonuses anymore. Can't pick and choose between 50 fun artifacts in the realms that they didn't really think about your army when they were riding them, you know. No combos allowed, essentially. You build your army to satisfy battle tactics, and then you perform the battle tactics. And every army has a really decent shot. Pretty balanced. So, you know, it's kind of also very easy, the quality of life is very high. Because if you ever need to use a command, every squad can just fucking do that. It used to be only heroes could do it, so you had to think ahead and position and protect them and all this stuff. Now it's like, yeah, that squad, oh yeah. Yeah, just all out D. It's got a command unit in it, so he just does that, right? So it's just a different type of brain that prefers one or the other, I think. I very prefer the former. Although a lot of the quality of life has been nice in third. I'm much more of a Johnny combo player. Especially in a game that's kind of wacky anyway. Good work. Command abilities are AoS's strongest game design aspect, but they should be stronger. But they should be stronger. I don't know what you mean by this. Command abilities are AoS's strongest game design aspect. What does that mean? But they should be stronger. I think the strongest game design aspect right now are battle tactics. Maybe... Yeah, I think battle tactics are the strongest singular thing you can be doing in the whole game. They matter the most. You build your armies with them in mind more than you build your armies with command abilities in mind, I think. Maybe priority, but you don't really do anything about that aside from play differently. It's not like an ability. I guess you take a battalion, perhaps. You think they mean the most interesting design space? Oh, maybe. That's how you do things on your opponent's turn, right? And so the fact that you're doing something on your opponent's turn and that's the mechanism through which you do it, maybe that's it. You read that as command abilities are the coolest thing that sets AoS apart, but you wish they were more powerful. They're pretty powerful. You know, Inspiring Presence allows you to mostly ignore Bravery entirely. All-out defense means that Rend in general is bad. And pushes people towards mortal wounds more, in a sense. It means people, when they're thinking about playing a monster, they're like, well, it has Roar, and they think about that because it has a chance of stopping all-out defense, right? Unleash Hell, redeploy, stuff like that. Yeah, these are very impactful, sure. One thing people don't like about command abilities and reactions is that they are a gacha mechanic. I don't think they are a gacha mechanic. To me, a gacha mechanic is like necessarily has to include hidden information. If it's all public information, I don't think it can be a gacha. Especially a public information in the core rules that everyone shares. I could think like maybe you play against Cities of Sigmar and your opponent's trying to tell you what their guys do, and you're just like, I ain't trying to hear that. It's way too much, and I'll forget it anyway. I could see some gacha stuff there. But for the most part, these are like things everybody has. Gacha or gatia. So gacha is like phone game slot machine kind of thing. Gacha is Gotcha. Is in to trick or fool somebody. Got ya. You fell for it or something like that. I think some of them should be. I don't know how you would make, I guess you could make all-out defense add 2 armor, I guess, or something like that. I think all-out defense is too strong, in fact, so I kind of disagree with this. All-out defense is too strong, so I disagree. However, I think redeploy is kind of perfect right now. In general, I think Unleash Hell was a miss. Feels like a 40k rule. Shoved into fantasy and it doesn't fit fan fiction. Get it out. I think Rally was a mistake and should go. I don't think it should be stronger. I think Inspiring Presence is fine. I don't know that I would make it stronger or weaker. I think that one's fine too. Auto 6 Run Roll. I don't think it needs to be stronger. It's pretty good. Reroll a charge, same. All-out attack. Maybe all-out attack could be a little better. +1 to hit isn't terrifically great all the time. Kind of depends. So maybe all-out attack. What are some other individual command abilities that could be stronger? I don't know. I think most of them are either good and some of them are too strong. And I think Unleash Hell especially, and Rally especially, were essentially a mistake. It's quote-unquote easy to play around Rally, but it's like the competitive player thing. You can play around it if you're a competitive player. Sometimes you can't, because they deploy so well and move so well. And it's like kind of toxic for casuals. And it feels like a very future kind of 40k rule. And it makes ranged units harder to balance, which they already struggle at, as I see it. And Rally takes something that should be the pure domain of Death and maybe Sylvaneth and gives it to every army for some reason. I don't care for it. I think they added Rally to hurt chip shooting and make it not as good. And they added Lookout Sir to hurt sniping and make shooting not as good. And they raised the points on basically every shooting unit in the game to hurt shooting and make shooting not as good. And then they put Unleash Hell in, which kills every casual that ever tries to enter combat. And so I'm like, why not do neither of those things? I don't know. Inspiring Presence is pretty strong. Yes, it is. Not often you have more than one unit needing to take Battle Shock when Bravery is the way it is. Yeah. But I like it like that. Because if Bravery mattered, it would suck. It'd be not fun. It'd be kind of a shit system. If you actually had to care about Bravery and Battle Shock checks and stuff, it'd be miserable to play, I think. It's like when everybody was... In first edition, everybody was like, stop with the Congo lines. No Congo lines. The spaghetti, you know, there should be something you do. And then they're like, well, what if we introduce arbitrary, restrictive coherency that's just always annoying to play with and have every fucking ability require wholly within in the whole game? And some of it's like 6-inch wholly. Gugh. And so it's like, yeah, there is a problem here that could be fixed, but in fixing it, you've made the game a great deal less fun to play for everyone always. And I just as soon leave it. This is my normal Inspiring Presence, Battle Shock, Bravery talk. So, I don't know. On this one, kind of agree, kind of disagree. We're all over the place. I want way more diversity in unit stats and weapon profiles. Sounds like you want a simulation game. You want more, actually. Sounds like you want it to be more of a simulation style game and less of a streamlined, you know, kind of big skirmish war game, right? Give me units with 2 up hit, 6 up wound, -5 rend, or something. Oh, that's what you mean. Never mind. Why is everything a 3-3-1 or a 4-4 dash? I can't pretend to know why everything is really stock standard boilerplate samey. But I can pretend not to pretend why that is the case. Just give me a little variety. They just want a little variety, a little spice, you know? A little spiciness. Sure. I don't even disagree with this take. A little less copy-pasting, a little less homogenization. Sure. Melee attack ranges should be removed entirely. Yep, obviously. I think this is like the coldest take ever, right? Because everyone just kind of feels this way. We beta tested it during that one GHB, and it was universally loved. Speaking of 40k ass rules that shouldn't be in a fantasy game, here's one that should. Just have it be ranked fighting. Whether it be 1 rank, 2 ranks, 3 ranks, whatever the fuck. Annoying ass time wasting measuring blah. You can still have melee attack ranges for single models, you would have to, like heroes and monsters, but in general, let's just speed things up, shall we? Also remove damage splashing across the whole unit.
Stop it. Get some help.
You are wrong. I guess 40k players can only be right twice a day. You are wrong. But create a rule on some weapons where it makes sense. That would be every weapon. Damn. I was ready to reach across the aisle and shake their hand, be like, yes, I agree, correct. And then they came at me with the wrongest possible take. This is the wrongest take I have heard for the last 3 hours and 11 minutes. No one is more wrong than this person. Remove damage splashing across the whole unit. 40k player poisoned your brain. Get out. Ugh. Ugh. Absolutely disgusting. No. Go back to 40k. And never return. Boring. Only put it on certain, like, giants and stuff, bro. Bastion Carthalos' hammer can kill 2 people. Why do you even have 4 damage weapons then? To kill only ogres in the whole game? What? Crazy. Actually crazy. But the first half, very correct. Never lose sight of that. First half, they had me in the first half. Good work. But down here, that's one of the... This paragraph is one of the reasons why 40k sucks. Age of Sigmar players like me, we make fun of 40k for doing that, for having that rule. We laugh in secret, and I guess in public now. We laugh. Tank shoots a kill beam the size of a refrigerator at a unit. One single guy dies. Everybody else perfectly safe, like a cartoon. They're doing the change your, their human pyramid in a circle around the thing. Anyway, the game has never been better. 4th edition needs to wait at least 1.5 years. We all have our books finally. Let's enjoy a finished edition. In general, I think I agree. I think editions are coming just a little too fast. Maybe a 4-year cycle. Take your time. Your battle tomes, if mine's any indication, are clearly rushed. I want you to have more time. I'm willing to do that. So, okay. Not a hot take, essentially. Yeah, I'll play this edition another year. Chill. It's fine. Let's give Flesh Eater Courts more than 4 months to play in current edition, right? In general, I think your cycles should be as short as you can still produce quality, and as doesn't put people off from wanting to get into it. And maybe the latter is fine, but I think the former clearly isn't. Breaking news, new Steve MRE. Let's go. Nice. Alright. Damn, I know what I'm watching after my show. Let's go. Question, as I don't know how to feel about Splashover, how do you properly differentiate chaff killing weapons from monster killing weapons when damage just kills everything? Your chosen can kill 20 anvils as fast as a Maw Crusher. Yeah, that's how much damage you do. You shoot a cannonball that's the size of like a medicine ball. It will kill... That would kill an elephant. And if it bounced through a squad of 10 guys... might kill half of them, If it hit the ground and blew up, it might kill all of them. I don't know. That's damage. The durability of the creatures it's hitting would matter, Some things have crazy armor. Some things have wards. Some things have rend. Some things have mortal wounds. Some things have a lot of just physically a lot of wounds, There's a ton of different ways to represent toughness. right? You could have a bunch of wounds, good armor, a rune ward, an actual ward, maybe even a bodyguard style rule. There's a lot of ways to represent how much damage you do. Just have a big number, have it hit and wound very easily, have a high amount of rend, maybe mortal wounds, maybe a special rule. Maybe it's random if it's unreliable, you know. You're keen on a new edition, you have enjoyed third so far, having played FEC and Corn, but damn, this magic meta is horrible. Well, that's the season, that's not the edition. But good point anyway, Icon, because the seasons changed to 1 year instead of 6 months, because people thought they were coming a little too fast. Which had its upsides and its downsides. Or as some people would ask for, toughness and strength. Yeah, but we have plenty of knobs that can represent that already. And why are we making the attack sequence even longer and consulting some stupid THACO table? Kind of mindless, needless busy work to me. Strength and toughness tables and stuff, I think, belong in more of an RPG than a zoomed out kind of war game. I'm not trying to play SimCity war game necessarily. Hot take, GW is actually good at writing core rules, it's only the armies they fuck up. I disagree. But it's a fine hot take. You'd also still play third after fourth is out? See, that's why I say that sounds like... Remember at the beginning, where the person's like, you can still play Warhammer Fantasy? Kinda. But it's also sort of mean. It might not come across as mean-spirited, but it kind of gets received like it, you know? Hey, Annette, you want to play TTS? Oh yeah, sure, dude. I'll play Age of Sigmar. Let's go. Hey, I play 2nd edition AoS, slightly after this book, but before these people got a book. Do you want to do that? No, not really. I actually don't. Good luck, though. You still play Pathfinder 1.8? Look, I still play Palladium Rifts, okay? I do it with some things. I'm not 100% against old, kind of not supported editions of stuff anymore. But you gotta choose your battles on that one. Yeah, we are boomers in here. Rally sucks, true. And they should get rid of it as is. Yes, agree. Get out. Did I write this? Healing should be more common, but shitty. Maybe not even agree. I don't think I even agree with that. While revivification needs to be reserved for only big resto factions, like the Bone Boys et al. Ooh, we got an et al. In here, nice. Yeah, I kind of wrote this. I mean, I didn't, but somebody wrote it trying to get good boy points. And you will receive them, because you are right. Rally should have never been in the core rules. It needs to stay special for Death and maybe Sylvaneth, and that's it. Giving it to everyone was a mistake. I think they did it to make chip shooting a little worse. In general, I think. And it was a mistake, and it needs to be entirely removed and accepted as simply a mistake. That made Death armies way less special feeling. Don't like it. Healing should be more common. If you want, maybe, I guess. Healing kind of sucks in Age of Sigmar, because things tend to die from full life due to how people play. You don't mind rally on a 6, but rally on a 4, get out? Yeah, I don't even think you should rally on a 6. In the core rules? Nah. I'm not talking about it from a balanced point of view. I'm not saying it's overpowered. I don't care how strong it is. If it's weak, and if it was only ever a 6 up, I would still feel this strongly. I really care about factions who have a special thing staying kind of special. You can come up with more mechanics all the time. I think if your faction has something kind of special, I don't like giving it to everyone. It makes you less special. So, yeah, in general, you are right. Cold take. Yeah, poor OBR. Priority gets removed, the game becomes unnecessary, comma. And he's just, oh, is this big brain? Hold up, is this the biggest brain meta commentary ever, okay? You know what he's gonna say. You get the point. And that's exactly how the game would be if priority gets removed, because you just look ahead. All right, after me, it's always you. On turn 4, you're going to basically do that. I know what you're going to do. On turn 5, I'm going to basically do this. I know what I'm going to do. We know how the game ends. This is actually genius. It's meta commentary. If you remove priority, the game becomes unnecessary, and you know how it ends, so why bother finishing it? And then he doesn't, because that's actually what happens. Holy shit. God damn. His brain is too big to even fit into a hot take box. I mean, you're right. And furthermore, let's go on to the next one. Got him. Man, what a genius. You don't always have to do the rule of 3s. You can stop at 2. It's alright. Not a super experienced player, but it feels too easy to fit everything I want into a battle regiment. You son of a bitch. Oh, my wallet. It's got too much money in it. I can't even close it all the way. Oh, it sucks for me that. It actually kind of sucks for me. It's so pointless to have a battle. It's, you know, other ones feel pointless. It's so easy for me to fit everything into a battle regiment. Damn, I pay so little taxes. God damn, the privilege of this man. Jesus. Yeah, it's so easy. So easy to fit into a battle regiment. Everything you want. Damn, must be nice. Must be nice.jpg. And as such, good hot take. 9 out of 10 hot take. You got me. Good work. Now, besides the memes, we can talk about it a little bit. Other battalions feel pointless to take? True. When we were doing my other stream that had content with the tier list of all the different rules and mechanics and abilities in Third Head, I said that Battle Regiment was a little too strong, but otherwise good. It was a bit strong. And every other battalion was broken, but salvageable. Way too weak. A lot of people have a lot of weird and sometimes interesting takes on what to do about priority and what to do about Battle Regiment. My solution is you keep Battle Regiment essentially the same, maybe a tweak, and all the other battalions, you design those battalions like you're trying to make whoever's going to choose Battle Regiment every time feel terrible for doing that. Like, that's the thing. So, like, Warlord Battalion. Every hero in your army gets a trait and an artifact. Everyone. Or the Forward to Victory one, +2 movement army-wide for everybody in that battalion. like crazy strong abilities, right? That make you feel like a sucker for taking Battle Regiment. I just want them to have parity, to feel as strong as each other. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, or thinking about. And we'll try that. In other words, what am I asking for? Maybe when they give us 6 choices, there's even a modicum of balance between them, such that one of them isn't the best, and the rest are literal trash. Maybe not that, right? But I wanna push these other battalions. Like plus 2-inch movement for everybody in the battalion. That's big, you know. Essentially, they're like a 1 command ability or something. The other ones are so bad. But make it a concern. Everybody in there, once again, pile in twice. Free artifact for every hero in your army. Maybe there's a spellcaster one where you get primal dice and your opponent doesn't, and it's not even the season for it. Just like push the envelope and make it really compete with Battle Regiment. AoS is not a competitive game. To play as if one winner can be found at an event is folly. I mean, yeah, I essentially agree. It's not a competitive game. Chess is a competitive game. League of Legends is a competitive game. Magic the Gathering is a competitive game. Baseball is a competitive game. Age of Sigmar is not a competitive game. It is a game that people compete in. And normally there aren't enough rounds to determine one winner anyway. And that's fine. I don't think it's a big deal. We talked about this a lot at the beginning. Didn't we have this take last stream? The mods tried to remove all the duplicates. There were a lot of duplicates. If they missed any, there were a lot of them. One winner to bind them. It's not folly, it's just we don't have enough time to do it. Games take 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. You can't fit enough rounds into a weekend to determine a winner. That's all. If you had 3-day weekend, maybe a 4-day weekend, you could, and a lot of events do. LVO does, Adepticon does, some Warhammer World stuff does. I know a bunch of the Australian ones with 200 people in them. I know those guys do. If you get a big enough event, you have plenty of time to determine a winner, and they do. But if you don't, I think you just go by record. You just can't remember between this one and the esports one. It's also folly as it's arguably too random. I mean, card games are random. You're drawing a random card every time, right? But there's plenty of... It's not even approaching too random to not be considered a competitive game. That's some copium from person who doesn't play AoS and read the priority rule one time. It's kind of like that. Outsider take. Team captain from anyone at Worlds will beat you 20 times in a row, even though it's a dice game. I don't know what to tell you. When I say it's not a competitive game, I'm talking about the structure of like how they do events and stuff like that for the most part. How there's every round is kind of single limb. They don't do a best of. There's no sideboards, you know, things like that. 'Tis a jest, my lord. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Next, good meme. Good odd take. Marathi is too weak. Good meme. You know. I've heard a lot of Doc players say it's almost not worth it to play her again. At this point value, in this metagame, in this economy. I heard them say that in 2nd edition too. But it doesn't mean they're not wrong this time. 2 weeks, so weak. I haven't played against Doc recently. She kind of shits on me, so I don't think I have a good frame of reference. But it's a big linchpin that you're supposed to build your army around no matter what. Ahem. I'm gonna say good hot take. Good hot take. The massive power creep of AoS and prevalence of mortal wound spam has made the game a gambling simulator where both factions just list whatever deals mortal wounds and roll over the enemy before they get rolled over. Is this a... This is a false flag? I can tell. This is one of those, now I used to be a liberal, and then I turned conservative after made up thing. And everyone clapped, and it was a true story. Yeah, this is a psyop. Massive power creep, mortal wounds spam, gambling simulator. Still took the time to capitalize mortal wound and then S for the plural. No punctuation. This is a psyop. That's my official take. Good meme, but too obvious. I don't care what takes you submit, Glowy. I'm not paying my taxes. Yeah. Yeah. I used to be a Democrat, liberal, and then I traveled America from California to New York, and I saw some kid, and this thing happened and something else, and my 6-year-old asked me a fully formed question about politics, and everyone stood up and clapped. And it really happened, I swear. 'Tis a jape. Bring back WS to WS comparison, strength versus toughness, maybe initiative. Hey, I got a great game for you. It's called Warhammer The Old World. Now, it just came out. I heard it's selling pretty well. You need to play that game. And don't make AoS literally worse by shoving this crap in, because it would. And hey, if you want AP and weapon skill, I got another great game for you. It's 40k. It sounds like the Goldilocks zone of what you want is everything but AoS. So, I wish you luck. Please enjoy any game but mine. Good work. Good hot take. Artifacts should cost points. The road to ruin lies here. No. No, I don't think they need to. You see, here's the thing. You get one. So it already has a cost. It doesn't cost points, but it has a cost. It has an opportunity cost. That's plenty, I think. You can do it. It's possible. It's not too hard, I swear to you. It's not too hard. Even for them. Even for them, I don't think it's too hard to write 3 artifacts that any human being would ever possibly choose on purpose. It's just not. You don't have to run to points. The issue isn't that the worst artifact you've ever seen doesn't cost 1 point, and the artifact right next to it doesn't cost 10. That's not the problem. The problem is it's the worst artifact you've ever seen. That's the problem. It's not that it's not cheap enough. It's just bad. And they've done a bad job writing it. This is giving them more credit. This is thinking the problem is unsolvable when it is not. Good take, though. I don't care how good they are, battle tomes that play nothing like the faction should be redone with an entirely different concept. True, give him a medal. Someone shake his hand. You are right. true. I know it's tempting to copy paste basically everything and do as little work as possible. It's tempting. But if the concept doesn't fit the lore, get it out. Also, because we're talking about Slaanesh here, good luck on the next Slaanesh book. I hope it's entirely different from this one. Also, Blades of Corn. Yeah, sure. I basically agree. You know, the sequence of out-of-sequence movement, widely available run and charge, and other buffs are great. It's strong, and it's actually kind of fun to play and tactically interesting, but it does feel a little not like Corn. Maybe I just don't know enough about Corn. It does not change the fact that the army does not feel like a Corn army. Change it. Did Frank write this? No, I'm not an idiot. Good meme. I mostly agree with this part. Blades of Corn players will have to answer for this part. And we'll move on. You think Slaanesh with a mechanical temptation was a fun idea? Just the idea of temptation is an interesting idea to riff off of when coming up with a mechanic. But it doesn't play nice. And the stuff you get from it and how you do, I just don't think the army has ever really played like how you would imagine it might as Slaanesh. I don't know that they've ever quite gotten it. You know, Corn isn't just memes. I'll point that out. Memes aside, I'll get slightly serious here. Corn isn't Iron Jaws. They're not pure memes. All right. Being very tactical is not out of pocket for the God of War. No such thing as NPE, just salty players. Damn. How could you say something so controversial, yet so true? Yeah. This is another one that kind of was a bit of a culture shock coming from Magic the Gathering. The baby-like saltiness of wargame players, I was not prepared for as a Magic player. You catch barely a whiff of control, and wargamers turn into shrieking babies. It's almost embarrassing. Not even that, it's just like, I want to play a hammer, right? I want a unit that does damage. I'm gonna choose the unit that does the most damage that I'm able to put into the army as efficiently as I can. Just the best one, right? All right, I will. You got like people trying to socially pressure them to like bully them to not do that. It's like a Magic player being like, now which lightning bolt effect shall I want to do direct damage. Shall I play Shock, 2 damage for 1, or shall I play Lightning Bolt, 3 damage for 1? And as you're reaching towards the Lightning Bolt, like all these Wargamer players are like, NPE, win at all cost, only chooses the most powerful one. Yeah, I want to do 3 damage for 1. It's fucking Lightning Bolt. Why would I choose to do 2? This guy doesn't care about the spirit of the game. What do you mean? I want to do 3 damage for 1. What's the problem? Wargamers, holy shit. You gotta tiptoe around them like nobody's fucking business. And not even NPE, just like, yeah, it's a list I made. It's got the best units I have access to. Oh, so this guy only cares about winning. Only cares about winning? I'd be choosing a different faction, brother, if I only cared about winning. I'm just playing the best stuff in my faction. That's it. And like, oh, this guy steals a command point from you on a 5-up. Ooh, tech list makes all your stuff cost double. Alright, well, you can still use it. You know, you can't counter activated abilities in this game. You sure can in Magic. I don't know. It's a culture thing. I had to get used to it when I got into Age of Sigmar, but it's still, like, I chuckle to myself. Like, these kids. And a lot of them are old, so I say kids from a, I don't know, like a perspective, I guess. Magic players sure can be that salty, and more. I've seen people throw chairs and get ejected from the premises of tournaments. I've seen people try to steal thousands of dollars worth of cards and get chased and tackled. I've seen people have fits, screaming at each other, almost come to blows. I've seen people so mad in Magic that they sold their entire deck to the store and dropped from the tournament for having lost their worst matchup 2 games in a row. And that's where I got my Mox Diamonds from, because I made sure to buy them so the person could not undo that mistake they made. And so I'm not saying that Magic players don't get salty. I'm just saying what needs to happen and the culture around what needs to happen for Warhammer games is like, this guy's playing Lightning Bolt instead of Shock. Like, that's the level that the Warhammer players are getting salty for. I'm not talking about the most cringe fan base. Do not misunderstand me. Here's a lesson for you, kid. Deck buyer, yeah. If you're going to act like that as an adult in public, I'm not giving you time to cool off and undo your mistake. You deserve it. Don't act like a child. Also, those Mox Diamonds were pretty cheap. They are much more expensive today. Get fucked. Act like a child, get treated like a child. Thanks for the Mox Diamonds. Salty AoS player is under the bell. Salty MTG player is in the outliers. I don't even know. If we're going to just define them as salty, it's hard to say. I'm more thinking about what is required to get them there. What is the concept of it? You know, you started to see that in when Commander became the most popular format. A little bit of that started to creep in the Magic. You didn't have that with just formats. Everything was I mean, you're not going to complain about losing turn 1 in Legacy. You signed up for Legacy without Force of Wills in your deck. You have essentially begged to lose on turn 1, right? It's informed consent. But in Commander, you actually do get a lot of this stuff now, right? That's not a 7, that's an 8. You said your deck wasn't that. Oh, and now you're gonna go for a mana crypt on turn 1. Oh, you said this wasn't. Oh, that card isn't, or that interaction. No infinite combos, no tutoring. Maybe it's just another way of saying that it's a casual game. Is you get people bitching over the nebulous, no one can agree on it idea of what it means to have fun and what it means to be casual and what it means to be competitive. Maybe that's the issue. When it's just, if you're like a competitive player, it's easy. Play your best stuff, try to win. It's that easy. Play your best stuff, try to win. I mean, be polite, right? But those are the guidelines. And then everyone just naturally, pretty much, falls in line. No one needs to argue. Casual. Everyone has a different definition of what's casual, how casual am. No infinite combos, doing gymnastics now. Ooh, don't use shooting. I don't like shooting. I don't like sniping. Oh, that guy's real fast with flying. Oh, that's not, I don't like, I mean, prayers are fine for me, but you don't like prayers. That spell isn't fun. Oh, okay, well, my friends think that spell is fun, but your friends don't like that spell, and you can't play more than 3 of the same units. Now you're spamming. What if I like those? And it's, suddenly everyone's arguing. Nobody can agree on anything. One person always feels slighted. He said it was his casual list. But then he destroyed me, and that was a competitive list. And that guy was like, yeah, I brought my casual list out. This shit would get destroyed back home. And you have 2 people that thought they weren't being that guy, and now suddenly there's a problem, right? Anyway, I don't think this really happens too much in real life, but maybe it does. You hear about it complained about a lot, but that doesn't mean anything. I see a lot of murders on the news. Murders are pretty rare, though. I just hear about all of them, because that's what gets the news that clicks, right? You just hear about every single one. But on average, almost none of them are ever happening, and it's the least that's been happening past 50 years or so. Ahem. Play stuff you think is cool, and take it on the chin when you lose for playing suboptimally. Yeah. As long as you are like okay with it and you enjoy it, then there can't be a problem, essentially. As long as you're being honest with yourself. Because that's what I like. Okay, I'm playing Beast Claw. Would my army be better if I was playing Gutbusters? Maybe. But I don't wanna. And I'm okay with losing a game or whatever to play with the thing I want to play with. And then, like, it happens, and I'm like, yeah. But I got to drive monster trucks around for 4.5 turns, so I'm cool. Like, I made the choice, and here I am, and I'm fine with it. It's only if you, like, profess not to care about something, and then it happens, and it turns out, oh shit, I actually do care about this. Then it's kind of like a learning experience, too. You don't love playing against suboptimal meme lists for the lulz? You'd rather win because you played well than because someone is taking the piss? Yeah, there is a certain amount of, like, if one person is trying to be serious and the other person is trying to meme, your goals might not align. Sometimes it's not fun to play against someone who isn't taking something seriously. It's kind of like trying to have a conversation with a drunk person. Usually it's just really annoying. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. The GBH should just be new battle plans. The seasonal rules just make the balancing game a nightmare. It seems like the seasonal rules make balancing the game easier in a certain way. Because you always have something to respond to. Oh, you're saying if there was no seasonal rules at all. Yeah. I don't know, what even is the GHB? 12 pages of battle tomes then, and that's it? For $50? I'm not saying that is a good reason not to have it. But it's running a little thin. Which it is anyway. Yeah, Lude FGC, that's... I don't know, I put it in a few of my videos, the whole pre-game conversation. What are you looking for? What are you trying to do? What kind of game do you want? You can avoid almost all these problems by just having like a conversation. And it's a pretty social game anyway. So, conversations are OP, in other words. I think the GHB... Damn. How do you guys feel about seasons? Do you like seasons? I suppose that's kind of a loaded question. They are exactly 1 year too long. Damn. Hello? Base department? I hope you're talking to your opponent if you're playing a 2 to 3 hour game. Yeah, I mean, it takes 20 minutes to set up and deploy properly. And you haven't even started playing the game yet. That's a long time. To just hope, right? To coast. Seasons are fine, but work best if the metagame can be stable throughout. They're so extreme instead of flavor. You like them in concept, they're too long, too long. Ahem. This season was a bad one to start the long rotation on. Yeah, because this one's wild. I think if the primal magic season was like 3 months long, it would be remembered as one of the best. Like exactly 3 months, everyone starts to get used to, ooh, we're gonna cast this spell, 46 mortal wounds, LOL, rolling all your primal dice to cast some silly thing, and then after 3 months it's just over. I think it would be remembered as one of the cooler ones. The fact that we're sitting through a year of it when it's kind of solved. And then all the spell dom armies just kind of rise to the top. It's like, alright. Primals rolled once at the start of the battle round. Bin that Acolytes battalion. Bin Blizzard, you'd like to see them release 3 books. Then do a 6-month season, or release 3 more books, and do a 6-month season, and so on and so on. I don't know what they should do. They could... There's so many things they could do. It's almost silly to think about, right? Because they could do so much with this. Getting all the extra dice to cast the awesome ogre buffs. I think maybe the rules are a little too impactful. Can we agree on that, perhaps? The seasonal rules are usually just a little too impactful, I would say. A year is maybe too long, but you got to consider the average player plays once every 6 months or so, or 3 months. I can't remember what the thing was. The armies of Age of Sigmar, and this is a good thing. Age of Sigmar is too good for seasons to be interesting. Let me explain myself. I consider it a good thing when armies are extremely diverse in how they're trying to play. If everybody plays really similarly, it is boring. So I like the diversity of play style we have. I wish there were more of it, even. But that means when they try to come up with seasonal rules, Sons of Behemoth every single time can't use it, first of all. And then second of all, you got the winners and losers are too far apart in randomly what the season is about, I think. And that's been one of my chief concerns. Every season has been the worst season. Yeah. Well, think about every ability or thing. Think about everything of every season. What was fun? 2-rank fighting was fun. I liked that. I liked it when I could take a foot hero and he could teleport once a game. That was cool. The battle plans are usually good. You thought the Gillette Champion one was pretty popular. The Gisep. The Hero season seemed fine. Every time I think back to the seasons, I'm thinking about the battle tactics that were available in that season more. I think it's just a mess. It's a mess. You gotta fix it. Good meme. Malignant Sorcery was the best expansion the game has ever seen. Realm Rules were by far the best part of the package too. Disagree. Forbidden Power was better. Good try, though. Hot take, I guess. Yeah, Forbidden Power was better. It had realm artifacts. Malign Sorcery had the endless spells. And the spells, trash. Malign Sorcery had realm artifacts. Oh, did it? Did I get those mixed up? Oh, I thought Forbidden Power had the artifacts. Alright, I might have gotten them switched. I thought it was cool that you had realm rules, actually. I liked the realm rules. I thought they were cool. And, the realm artifacts made list building fun for the first and last time ever in Age of Sigmar. So, in other words, this is not a hot take. You are simply right. Good work. Forbidden Power was the generic terrain and the shithouse death spell. Okay. Oh, I remember that one. That was the one where you could slurp juice from, like, your 30-man unit and make your hero gain full life, right? The slurp juice spell. That shit was broken. Griff Feather Charm and Super Sharp Blade were malign sorcery. It had the bringy dingy. Just make the GHB this. Make this the GHB. Hey, I got it. We solved the problem. You know the campaign events? Malign Sorcery, Forbidden Power, Dongbringer Crusades. Instead of releasing 4 of those fucking every week right before the end of an edition, when they're just obsolete instantly. It's like, here's the Dongbringer Part 1. 2 weeks later, here's Dongbringer Part 2. They're released 2 next to each other, and then it's just the new edition and no one gives a shit, and it doesn't matter. What if you release the first one and it coincides with when the first GHB would be, and then 6 months later, maybe 9 months later, as a halfway point between 12 months, and you release the next one. And so these big campaign events with cool shit in them are more spaced out from each other. They are the GHBs, and that means that when all of them come out, they're not obsolete immediately when the next edition comes out. Columbo is infecting his brain. It was just bothering me. Bring back Sword of Japan. Dimensional Blade. Fucking Thermal Rider Cape. Alright, we did it. We've solved Games Workshop. This is it. The big dice. Jesus. Damn, that's a good place to end it. Because we're 4 hours in. And we are halfway through. And we just solved the GHB problem. We fixed AoS. I'm cutting it off. I'm going to stream again this week before Friday. Because I feel like it. Please keep track of Discord for the next time that will happen. Also, I can see the size of the font that they had to write for the next one, and I don't know if we got another hour in us for that next slide. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the subs and the bits and the primes. I appreciate it. Join my Discord if you feel like it. I'm going to raid somebody. Stick around for that. If you give a shit. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later this week.